In this video, we're gonna see how can we create a progress chart in Excel that whenever you change here any status of any tasks that you have to do, as you can see, the chart is automatically changed for you. So let's say here, I want to read it off some tasks and the red dots are increasing. But if I change here, I status to OK, as you guys can see here through the chart, another green circle here is added to me automatically. I just need to put here an OK into my list. So let's find out how can we do this Excel chart, this progress chart in Excel, and I hope this video can be useful for you and you can use this chart into your presentation or into a report and so on and so on. So let's take a look on how can we do it step by step. Let's go. The first thing that we need to create any type of chart in Excel is to have a data set, or what we're going to use as informations to create the chart. And here the informations that I'm going to use are some tasks that I have here, such as email management, meeting scheduling, and so on and so on. Basically, I have 7 different tasks here, but you can have more tasks than I have here. Okay, and then, so in the first column, you're going to need to input here the numbers, 1, 2, 3, the sequential numbers for all the tasks that you have, and then the tasks itself. And then in the last column, you can put here a status, okay or not okay, for example, or you can leave in blank, like I'm doing here. And to create this drop-down list here, it's pretty much easy to do. Basically, you're going to need to select everything that you have and where you want to input the list. And then you can go here to data. And then to the right, you can go to data tools, click here, data validation. And here we got allow, instead of any value, you can choose list. And as source, you can delete anything that might have inside here. And then type in OK. And then press OK. And here we got the status. Now, instead of manually typing in OK or any type of confirmation that you want to input here, you can just click in the list and select. It's much more easier. Now to create the chart itself, and of course, before you do the chart, you're going to need to have one more step here, that is, anytime that we have OK, instead of using OK in the chart, we're going to need to replace the OK for a number 1, for example. Every time it's like this. So here I have another OK, so we're going to have here a number 1. And whenever I got a blank in a status, it means my task is not complete already. So I'm going to leave here with an arrow found in /A, for example, like this. Okay, so we're going to leave with an arrow. That way you can create the chart itself with 2 colors. A green color for whenever you had the number 1 and a red color whenever we got the arrow. So this is why it's important to create here a helper column and use this helper column as this 1 or arrow, okay? Because this is where we're gonna get the colors in the chart. So to do it, 1 or arrow, we can use the if function to help us, because if I have a OK, so I'm gonna, instead of use OK, I'm gonna use 1. If it's OK, it's equal to 1. If it's blank, it's gonna be equal to the arrow that we're gonna use here. Equal sign if function, double click here, I want you to select. As the logical test, I want to use if the status that I have here to the left is equal to open quotations mark, OK, close quotations mark. So if it's true, if the status is equal to OK, so I want to get as return the number 1, comma. Else, if it's not true, I want to get as return an arrow or hashtag or pound in /A, close parentheses, enter. Now just click here in the down right corner of the cell and drag down to make sure all the rows now contain the same function like this, and we're done. The last step now is to use the column, the following column, let's say column F, with just numbers that is equal to 1, like this. Okay, now we can select here both columns, and then we can go to the insert tab and take the line chart like this. Okay, here we got. So now we have both charts here, both lines. The orange one, that is the second column that we have, and the blue one, that is gonna be the green one. We need to make some change here because the orange lines is basically overlapping the blue one. We need to invert this order. So let me click here in the chart with the right click, and then I can go to select the data. And here I'm gonna select, for example, series 1, and I'm gonna move it down like this, and then I'm gonna press OK. Here we got now, and now we can see the blue line and also the orange line. Let's make some change now in the chart. For example, I'm gonna click in the title. I'm gonna read it off the title, pressing delete. And also these grind lines here, I can delete it too. These numbers here to here just below, I can delete it too. The legend right here, I can select and delete it. And these numbers here to the left, I'm gonna double click 1, 2 to make sure I can open this right panel. And as minimal, I'm gonna stick with 0. And maximum, I'm gonna use 2. Enter. That way, we can make sure our line is just in the middle of the area of the chart. Now we can close this right panel here, and I can make some changes in the area of the chart like this. We can resize and scale again the chart. Maybe I think the size here is good. Now I can click here in these values to the left and read it off these values. Now it's time to make some changes in the lines itself to make sure we can create this progress chart. Let's start with the orange line, 1, 2. That is, the orange line is going to be the red one, okay? So let me click here in the fill line. I'm going to choose line, solid line, and I'm going to stick with a red color or a reddish one. I think the line is a little bit thin. We can make it thicker. Maybe the width, I can choose 45, I don't know. Enter, let's see. Oh, it's too much. Maybe 15. Okay, I think 15 is good. And another detail here, instead of use the cap type around the one like this, we can make the tip, the cap, with this square shape like this. Now let's click here in the blue line and do the same thing. But instead of just basically do exactly the same thing, we're gonna change the color to the green one. The width is 15, I think, yeah. And the cap type is gonna be square like this. Or even, I think the width we can use maybe 5 or 10. 10 I think is gonna be good. Maybe 15 is too much. 10, okay. So I just changed the width to 10 for both. Now with the red line selected, I can go here to the marker and select, let's say, border, no line, fill, solid fill, and choose exactly the same red as we just selected before. And then here, as marker options, built-in type, I'm gonna choose here this circle one, and the size, it might be much bigger than the size of the line. Maybe 40, I think it's good. 40, okay. Now let me click here in this green line, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Built-in, I'm gonna use a circle and a 45 as size. The fill, I'm gonna change to solid fill and choose the same green color as before, and borders, no line. Like this, now I can close here, and we are almost done. And one interesting thing here, as you guys can see, if I use some status here, so let's say customer service, I'm gonna press here, I'm gonna use OK, the status, press, and as you guys can see, a new, basically a new circle here now are green. And if I delete some tasks here, instead of using OK, I'm gonna delete a couple here, read it off, enter, and we got here a couple of more red circles. And yeah, it's already working dynamically and interactively. And whenever you change here a status, it's automatically changed for us. One interesting thing here to do now, the last step, or maybe the two last steps, is the first one, to add in some numbers here, 1, 2, 3, that's gonna correspond to the task itself. And also then change the area, the design of the area of the chart. Maybe put some shadow. Let's start with it. Let's click here in the area of the chart and then format. I can choose shape outline, let's say black one, shape effects, shadow, the first option, like this. Now let's click here in the red line or in the red circles, chart design, here to the left, add chart element, data labels, and then I'm gonna choose just center. Click here, and yeah, we are almost done, but as you guys can see, the numbers are exactly the same, 1, 1, 1, and again, and again, and again. To make sure we can change and put some sequential numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, so on. Let me double click here into the number itself, 1, 2, like this, to open this right panel. And here, where I have value from cells, I can click here And this new window is going to pop out for me. I can click in this upper arrow right here and select the first row that we just did before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Q, 7, or Q, the text that you have there into your spreadsheet. This is why it's important to use the first column as the numerical values for each one of the tasks. Down arrow, okay, and almost done. Now let me read it off. Show leader lines and also value like this. Now I can close here, and with the number selected, I can click here in the home tab, increase the size a bit, like 24, put it in bold, and change the font color to white, like this. Okay, now the last step that we can do here to make our chart a little bit more pleasant and put some effects into the chart itself. Let's say I want to add here some bevel into the circles. Let me show you here. Let me click here in these red circles, and then I can go to the Format tab and choose here Shape Effects, Bevel, like this. And I'm going to choose this option right here, Soft Round. I think it's a good effect to use. Now I can select here just the green circles. Let me click out the chart and then click in the green ones. Format, Shape Effects, Bevel, and I'm going to choose the same option as before, like this. I am with the impression that the green circles are a little bit bigger than the red one. Let me make some adjustment here. 1, 2, in the red ones. Let me click here in the Fill Align, Marker, and okay, 40. Oh, okay, yeah, I got. So size is need to be 45. Now I can close it. This is how we can make a progress chart in Excel. Let me make here another OK in the status, like this. One more. Let's see everything in green, like this. And if I delete and read it off some OKs in the status, as you guys can see, the chart is automatically changed for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this chart can be useful for you into a presentation or into a report itself. And that's it. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.